First and foremost, Happy New Year. Happy 2020. I really hope that this year brings you everything that you've ever wanted. I hope this is a great time for you to reflect on the past year and be the best self you can be going forward, because the world needs that, okay? With that out of the way, I want to talk about gaming. That's what this channel has been. That's what this channel will always be about. Don't expect a lot of major changes from me, because I am and will always be a gamer first. All right. This year is going to be great. This year is going to be phenomenal. We are going to get new consoles. For the last, I don't know how many years, behind the scenes, Sony and Microsoft have been working on their next new tech. And this year, at some point, we're going to see it. We're going to get to see press conferences about it. We're going to get to be bored to death by technical jargon, probably more from Mark Cerny than from the folks over at Xbox, although Matt Booty sometimes likes to drone on a little bit. We'll have to see. We're going to probably get the big curtain unveil of this is what the new controller looks like. This is what the new console looks like. And I know Microsoft already went through and did that, but you'll get to see the new UI. You'll get to see the new price point. You'll get to see all the great technical specs. I'm here to tell you right now, my hot take, none of that matters. Absolutely none of that matters. Processing power in of itself is a useless statistic. And unfortunately, the game journalism, the big bad journalism, media machine, forced this topic on us during the last console generation. Think back to every game that came out at the launch of the PlayStation 4 and the Microsoft Xbox One consoles. You got a split screen. It would show the exact same gameplay frame for frame, typically cutscenes because those were easier to match, of showing this is what it looks like on an Xbox One and this is what it looks like on a PlayStation 4. And then they would pause it and they'd zoom way in and they would try to show you that this little granular thing and this texture mapping or this pop-in or this or this that. This is why one console was better than another. And very early on, it was very aware to everybody that the PlayStation 4 had a better architecture and it had more processing power, which allowed it to run games at 1080p as opposed to 994p or whatever. It doesn't even matter. It was all irrelevant because people weren't buying consoles based on the power. I think price point does matter a little bit. I think people can look and say, what's the biggest bang for my buck? But the reality is that's a one-time investment, and you're talking about 6-7 years of, entertainment. People are going to understand that, maybe I have to spend a little bit more to get this experience or that last experience. The reason why none of that matters is the focus has always been and should always be on games, particularly the exclusives and the services and everything ancillary to that console that brings you back into that ecosphere that makes you proud to be an Xbot or a Sony pony or whatever you want to identify as. Now, there is a small percentage of people, myself included, that will buy everything. I will buy every single console that comes out, and I will play every game that comes out, and I just don't care. I do have a favorite, and it does shift from time to time, but hey, that's how this kind of stuff goes. Because the reality is I want to play the hot new thing, whether it's on Nintendo or Xbox or PlayStation. I don't care. I think you'll see me shift more towards one console or another as the year goes on, but it's still too early to tell as to what I'm going to be invested in. The reality of it is this, though. Games are what sell consoles. Look at the Nintendo Switch. That console is technically a piece of junk. And I don't mean that in terms of yes, it's cool. It's portable. You can dock. You can take it to your buddy's house. You could turn it sideways if you want to play Ikaruga on, old arcade mode, or you could pass a Joy-Con to your buddy and huddle around during your lunch break at work and play a quick round of Smash or something. That part's cool. What I mean is the processing power on it is garbage. It's garbage. My phone is as powerful as this thing. It's just not that great of a piece of hardware. But you know what? It's selling like crazy. Why is it selling like crazy? Is it because people are like, well, I got $300 to spend. I better just buy something? No. It's because the games are what is driving those sales. Nintendo has done a phenomenal job over its lifespan to cultivate phenomenal exclusive first-party franchises. Nintendo, Star Fox, Metroid, Pilot Wings, Smash Brothers, Kirby, Pokemon. The list goes on and 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 on, as long as the day is long, because these games sell, and Nintendo knows that. And they don't care if you're playing on a toaster, if you're playing on this weird controller that they come out with, or this portable thing. You're going to buy the console because you want to play the next Zelda. That's the truth, and they know that. So games drive sales over anything else. You can never convince me of it otherwise, because it's just not true. And as we enter into this console race, and I think PlayStation did a phenomenal job early on, and I think that's what really gave them the leg up, excluding what Don Matrick did to the whole Xbox One, and really shifted that console focus away from games, which definitely hurt Microsoft. But people didn't buy a PlayStation to spite Microsoft. I don't think that happened. The reason why PlayStation did so well early on was it was a game-focused machine, and they had a lot of exclusives. And very early on, they reached out to industry partners and said, hey, we are designing this console with you in mind. We want you to help us. What is the best way we can make this console for you to make games for us? And then make a game for us exclusively for us, and we're going to all get rich together. And boy, did they ever. And what a masterful plan that was. Regardless of what happened with Xbox, that is why Sony did so well early on. They focused on games, they focused on exclusives, and to the best that they could, I think we can all agree the PlayStation Network is a little shaky at best. They focused on services, having a built-in stream functionality, having built-in game recording, having built-in video editing to put together small clips and share with your friends. That is really what drove PlayStation sales through the roof. And I think you're going to see that both PlayStation and Microsoft this time around are very dedicated to that. Without a doubt, Phil Spencer is the absolute best thing that has ever happened to Xbox in the last 20 years, because he brought stability to that console and that ecosphere. He was the idea behind Game Pass. He got the Elite controller on board. He got the Xbox One S and X and started these nice tiered structures. He really went out and really sought after a lot of first-party companies to basically own and put under the Microsoft umbrella. And I think now you're going to really see a true console race. I don't think Don Matrick had any idea what was going on. I think that guy was broadsided hard. That company faltered, and under Phil Spencer's leadership, Microsoft has absolutely flourished. They are a very, very fierce competitor to PlayStation, and that's exactly what I want. I am so happy we have two companies that are really firing on all cylinders right now, and they're going to hit each other really hard because they want your money. And when they do that, we all win, all of us. And that is going to be a very exciting moment when we start to see price points and launch games and everything that matters. And all of this other crap with teraflops and this Eurogamer leak and what kind of AMD processor is this company running versus that. It's all going to fall away because it's not going to matter. If you want to play the new Halo, you have to have an Xbox. That is marketing. If you want to play Last of Us 2, you have to have a PlayStation. That is marketing. But when you start talking about processing power and all that other stuff, forget about it. Nobody cares. So to me, the focus needs to be on those things. Games, exclusive services. I mention a plus and minus point for initial price point because the reality is that I get it. Some people don't have a ton of money to go around. But you know what? Gaming is not a cheap hobby. And most people understand that they're going to lock into one console or another very early on, and they're probably going to be loyal to them. And that's why I wrap up this video with the final point. I think a lot of that isn't going to matter because most people have already made up their mind, which is really disheartening, honestly. But hey, that's the social media world we live in now. I think it's a shame, but that is just the world we live in. People are very decisive without knowing a lot of things, and people are very blindly loyal to things without really seeing the whole picture. And I think a lot of people who already have an Xbox say, I don't care what Sony's doing. And I think a lot of Sony PlayStation 4 owners say, I don't care about Xbox. I want the next Sony. I need the PlayStation 5 only. And I think that's a bad way to be. Because everything I just said totally gets negated by people doing that. But I can't fix the world. I'm just really, really excited as a consumer, as a fan of gaming, a guy wearing a Quake shirt, or a Quake hat rather. I still love Bethesda. With Rare stuff behind me, I got a Gears of War shirt on. I got another Bethesda thing behind me. Everywhere you look around in this room is video gaming stuff. It is my life. I'm very, very excited for it. Here's what I'll say. I think that people really need to take a hard look this year at what is happening with the games and forget about everything else. We'll see what happens. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on this because this is really, really exciting to me. This is a great time to be a gamer. And when two companies are so well tuned right now, good things are going to happen. And I really, really am excited to see what 2020 brings. I hope the gaming year of 2020 is as good as your year in 2020. I will continue making videos. Whether or not people watch them, that's up for you guys to decide. I speak with my heart. I do the best that I can. And I thank you guys all for your continued support on my channel as I think I enter my 6th or 7th year of YouTubing. I don't know how long it's been. It's been a long time. Everything's going great for me. Everything's going great for gaming. So let's have an amazing 2020. Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on the new leaks with the Xbox and the PlayStation. Do you care? What games are you looking forward to? Thank you guys so much for your comments. You know I do read and reply to just about every single one of them. Even the ones where people call me fat and ugly and stupid, because if you make me laugh, that's okay. Thank you guys so much. Take care of yourselves. Have a great 2020. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.